Hi, welcome to 7 Facts. You are watching the 17th episode of the US series. I will be covering all of the states and territories of the United States, so if you're interested in the subject, please feel free to watch the entire playlist. Similar videos await on my channel, so be sure to check it out and subscribe. Today's video is all about Kentucky, so let's dig in and see what this state has to offer. Before Kentucky was a state, it was merely a county of Virginia. In 1776, Virginia established Kentucky County as its westernmost territory. This state of affairs lasted for only 3.5 years, as Kentucky was further divided into 3 smaller counties. However, the residents didn't feel adequately served by the far-off capital of Richmond. The separatist movement took hold, and after several petitions for statehood, Kentuckians finally received their blessings from Virginia. Now an independent entity, Kentucky applied to join the Union, and in 1792 it became the 15th state to join the United States of America. The longest known cave system on Earth is in Kentucky. Mammoth Cave has an astonishing 652 kilometers of surveyed passageways, almost twice as long as the second longest cave system, Mexico's Sac Actun. It should be pointed out that the cave still wasn't entirely explored, so it could very well be even longer. The cave was used by humans for nearly 6,000 years, and even some mummified remains have been found here. To give you a sense of how long is 650 kilometers, you could almost go from London to Paris and back again, so this cave is truly gigantic. In 1930, at the age of 40, broke and without much perspective for a bright future, a man named Harlan Sanders came to the town of Corbin in Kentucky. Here, the Shell Oil Company agreed to allow him and his family to live at the recently built gas station in exchange for a large percentage of all sales. Harlan quickly realized that motorists that came to fill up their tanks were also hungry, and so he started serving them food. Pretty soon, people were coming to his venue just for the great food. Unfortunately, he wasn't a very lucky man and eventually had to sell his restaurant. But he didn't give up, and he started roaming the roads, trying to sell his recipe to other restaurants. The first to accept Sanders' offer was Pete Harmon in Salt Lake City, thus becoming the first Kentucky Fried Chicken or KFC franchise in 1952. And the rest, well, it's history. Oh, and I know you're wondering, was Sanders really a colonel? Well, yes. The title Kentucky Colonel is the highest honor that can be bestowed by the Commonwealth of Kentucky. To be named a colonel is to be recognized for outstanding service to community, state, and nation. These colonels are Kentucky's ambassadors of goodwill and fellowship around the world, and are peoples from all walks of life. And Harlan Sanders received this title while he had the Sanders Court and Cafe in Corbin in recognition of his contributions to the state's cuisine. One of America's first folk heroes, Daniel Boone, is Kentucky's most famous frontier man. Boone is most famous for his exploration and settlement of what is now Kentucky, which was then part of Virginia but on the other side of the mountains from the settled areas. After blazing a trail through Cumberland Gap and establishing Fort Boonesborough in 1776, which was one of the first American settlements beyond the Appalachian Mountains, Boone was captured by Shawnee Indians and whisked away to their home base in modern-day Ohio. Boone gained his captors' confidence and even became a member of the tribe, only to escape after 6 months riding a stolen horse 258 kilometers back to Fort Boonesborough. He made the journey in just 5 days, just in time to lead the fort's successful defense from another Shawnee attack. His work was crucial, and before the end of the 18th century, more than 200,000 Americans migrated to Kentucky by following the route marked by Boone. In 1866, at the age of 19, a young man named Thomas Edison moved to Louisville, Kentucky, where, as an employee of Western Union, worked as a telegraph operator. He was working the night shift, which allowed him plenty of time to spend at his 2 favorite pastimes, reading and experimenting. He kept his job for less than 2 years due to his preoccupation for experiments. One night in 1867, he was working with a lead-acid battery when he spilled sulfuric acid onto the floor. It ran between the floorboards and onto his boss's desk below. The next morning, Edison was fired. But it wasn't a total loss because his mentor, Franklin Leonard Pope, allowed him to live and work in his home. This boosted Edison's career as an inventor, and 16 years later he would return to Louisville to attend the Southern Exposition, where he showcased 4,600 of his new incandescent light bulbs. One of the sexiest cars out there is the Chevrolet Corvette, at least in my opinion. But those cars come from only one place, Bowling Green in Kentucky. This city is home to the world's only Corvette assembly plant. The plant was built in 1981 after General Motors decided to move the facility from St. Louis, Missouri. The Corvette is one of the most popular sports cars in the world and is recognized as an American brand throughout the entire planet. Bowling Green is also home to the National Corvette Museum, which is great except that in 2014 this was the place where a sinkhole opened up and swallowed 9 of the beautiful Corvettes. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. Alright, that's enough. I don't want to make it rain, but you all recognized the song, didn't you? Of course you did, it's one of the most popular tunes on earth. And it originated in Louisville, Kentucky in the late 19th century. Patty Hill, a teacher at the Louisville Experimental Kindergarten School, collaborated with her sister Mildred, a piano instructor, on a song called Good Morning to All that became the greeting teachers would sing to students. It's unclear how exactly the tune morphed into the Happy Birthday song, but it did, and today it's the most recognizable song in the English language. So there you have it. We've just went through 7 little known facts about Kentucky. If you liked it, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Leave your comments downstairs if you have anything to say. Also, there is a Patreon page where you can support this channel even more. Click on the icon appearing on the screen or find the link in the description. I hope to see you next time. Bye.